Have you ever wondered how long it might take to paint a painting with encaustic wax and a torch? That's what today's video is all about. But first, here's a quick introduction in case you're new and wondering who I am.
Hi there, I'm Stacy, the encaustic mixed media artist behind Studio Stacy. Encaustic literally means to burn in. So I paint with beeswax and a torch, and because it's mixed media, pretty much anything else I can get my hands on. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Consider subscribing and joining this artsy community. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, which helps me get introduced to more like-minded artsy folks like yourself. Good morning all. Welcome to a new painting video. And in this video, because I'm going to be painting a really similar painting to the previous painting video, I'll show you the painting that I painted previously. It's going to be really similar to that, different colors, different tree, but I'm thinking pretty much the same exact techniques. And because I pretty much walked you through, not pretty much, but I did walk you through that entire process. If you happen to miss those videos, I'll try to link them down below or up top here somewhere, and you can go check those out after you finish watching this one if you'd like. But because I walked you through the painting process of this particular painting and the one I'm working on in this video is going to be similar, I thought I would do a slightly different video. And this idea for this particular painting video came by talking to a few of you all and a few people that have come to the art shows and a few people that have come and stayed as a Harvest Host guest. Basically, when I kind of give them my background saying I used to do acrylic mixed media and got into encaustic and da-da-da-da, they say, well, gosh, these paintings must take a lot longer than acrylic paintings. And I don't think that they do. And to be honest with you, I've never timed the process. So I thought it would be interesting to kind of keep track of the hours I'm spending in the studio to get this painting done. So hopefully, if I'm not inserting a finished painting here, I'll have a reason on why it's not done. But hopefully I will have finished this painting in this video, and I will have timed the whole process. And I thought I would kind of maybe just discuss how long it takes to do a painting video while I paint this painting, because like I said, you've already seen me pretty much paint this style. I thought I would kind of tell you a few caveats to this painting process, and that is I've already completed some steps. So I've already sketched off, I'm doing the pawpaw tree, by the way, I don't think I said that. So I've already done a ton of sketches, you know, some bark sketches, some tree sketches, and I pretty much have finalized the pawpaw tree. So I've already done that end of the work. I've already figured out the colors that I want to do the actual tree bark and the tree in. I've already figured out my background colors, and I've already made all of these leaf prints to incorporate into the background. So I've done a bunch of steps already that, I'm sorry, I just hit the ladder back there if you heard that jiggling. I've already done a bunch of steps already that I have no idea how much time any of this took, because I didn't pay attention to how much time it took. So that's kind of caveat number one. Oh, and also this is the panel I'm going to be working on, and it is already gessoed and already has, I think, about 6 layers of the clear encaustic medium down. So the panel is kind of already pre-prepped as well. The second thing is that I've already painted a painting very similar to this, so I kind of know my painting process. I'm not really reinventing the wheel when starting out with this painting. And the final thought is I am going to be recording this process. So sometimes recording this takes longer than just actually painting. As you can imagine, I'm setting up the camera in different angles and things like that. So that may take a little bit more time than if I were to just sit down and completely concentrate on painting this painting and not filming any of it. So I think that's all of the kind of caveats I wanted to kind of tell you about. So I'm going to take a look at the time. I'm going to jot the time down, and I'm just going to keep a piece of paper here in the studio every time I come in and start this painting or end the painting, you know, whatever step that is, I'm just going to write down these time slots. So let's see what time it is.
And with that, enough of this chitter chatter. Let's get to painting. Hope you can sit back and enjoy the process.
All right, all, I'm calling it here for today. I could keep going on this. It's not that late in the day at all, but I need to let this tar just fully kind of cure, make sure everything is good before I put the next layers down. So let's check the time. Not quite 2 hours, so I will pick you back up, fingers crossed, tomorrow, and we'll start the next little time portion of this painting. Morning all, I have the time written down that I've entered into the studio, and today's plan is to put down a layer of the clear encaustic medium over this kind of tar layer. It's fully cured. I just kind of felt the painting, nothing's coming off, it's fully cured, but so I'm going to put a layer of encaustic medium over top of it, and then embed these leaf prints, see what time it is, and I might try to finalize the pawpaw tree sketch and maybe trace the pawpaw tree onto the tenguchu paper. So, but we'll see where we go here.
slight change of plans here as I've decided to trace the pawpaw tree onto the tenkuchu paper. And I'm doing this so that I can tell exactly where I want to put the leaves onto the painted panel or onto the background. And because the tenguchu paper is see-through, I can kind of lay this over the panel and over the leaves before I embed the leaves in there to see where I want them. Hopefully this makes sense. If it doesn't, as the video goes along, hopefully it will make sense. And again, if it doesn't, feel free to reach out in the comment section and ask any questions that you'd like. And just like that, another studio day comes to an end. Let's check the time and record it. We'll see you in the next studio day.
Morning all. All right, I've wrote the time down this morning, and today's plan, I'm looking down because the painting is sitting down there, is to get the first layer of paint onto the tree. At least that's what I think I'm gonna do. So yeah, that is today's plan. We'll see how far we get. I only have just a couple hours over here. I'm gonna try to limit my time over here, although yeah, if I look down at my notes, they've been around a 2-hour kind of time point here. So I think there should be plenty of time. And if I can kind of maybe get in here a little bit less than 2 hours, that'd be good. I have a few things that I have to do this afternoon and later kind of mid-morning things. So anyways, we'll see how far we get. But first, let's get some paint down on here, and I have to see what paint colors I used for this tree bark. All right, well, it's been a half hour and I have not started the actual painting of the tree because I decided to tweak this background just a little bit more. I didn't think it had enough pure white on it, so I went in with some white paint, and then I went back in with some other of the colored background paints, and now I'm pretty happy with it. So, sorry if you can hear that truck going by. Now I can start the actual painting of the tree, but yeah, it's been a half hour. Oh, I also cleaned off the griddle, none of which I filmed, but now we're ready to start the tree.
I decided that this needed a little bit more grunge to it. So I got the tar back out and I'm just adding it in a few areas because I went back over it with the white paint again at the beginning of this painting day. I decided to grunge it up a little bit more. It looked a little too pristine to me.
All right, all, I think I'm going to call it for today in the studio. I'll flip the camera around, show you where we're at with this painting, but I basically need to call it so that I can go get a few things done that I needed to do with the rest of the day. All right, here's where we're at, and you can see I have a lot more of the tree branches to fill in there. I think you can kind of see those. Definitely not a complete tree, but I need to get out the tiny little tipped wax writer to finish those. But let me take a couple steps back here and show you the overall painting. I think it's coming out really nicely. I'm really happy with it. So yeah, oh, let's check the time here real quick too while we're at it. All right, 11:31 is the end time, we'll say, for today. A bit over the 2 hours that I wanted to spend in here, but you know, sometimes that's what happens when you get in the studio. You get a little carried away and caught up in just one more thing, just one more tweak to the painting. But at any rate, I'm gonna call it here and I will pick you back up when I'm ready to finish up these tree branches and maybe even finish the painting. Hi all, back in the studio this morning, and the goal I think for today is to hopefully get this painting finished. So I've gotten out my electric temperature regulator, I've gotten out the electric Kistka, and I'm going to attempt to finish this tree, the tiny little branches, areas, things like that. I've got both of the griddles on, the encaustic medium and the encaustic paint griddle. So yeah, I think we're just gonna get started. All right, all, I think this painting is now done. I'm really happy with how the tree came out. Yeah, just happy with the entire thing. So the last and final step is to clean up this mess and take the tape off of this painting. And then I think I can call this painting done and add up how long it actually took me to paint. But first, get this mess cleaned up. All right, all, I have stopped the clock on this painting, and I'm wondering, does anybody have any guesses as to how long it took? Or did you have any guesses at the beginning of this video even as to how long this took? So, want to know? It took me, looking at my note here, my lots of scribbly notes, 10 hours and 17 minutes to complete this painting. Now, I don't have it hung yet. I don't have it labeled yet, but just from the start of the painting process to the end of the painting process, minus all of the preparation, the sketches, the leaf prints, all of that stuff, minus that stuff, 10 hours and 17 minutes. And if I had to just take a wild guess, I'm guessing most of these paintings behind me, most of the paintings I've ever done, have probably taken me somewhere between 10 to 12 hours, no matter the size, except for maybe those teeny tiny mini explorations and maybe the smaller tree paintings, the 25 native trees of West Virginia. Those may have taken me a little less time, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I would definitely guess anywhere between 10 and 12 hours for a painting, minus a lot of the behind the scenes prep work, a lot of the sketching, all of the stuff that it kind of takes me to get ready to paint an actual painting, minus all of that prep work. So in case y'all were curious, I was curious because I had no idea. I never timed myself before as far as keeping track of the hours and the minutes that it takes me to paint a painting. So I thought it was interesting. I don't know, hopefully all of you did too. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If I made you smile, if you liked the video at all, please give it a thumbs up. It truly, truly, truly does help me out. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. And if you have any questions on this painting process, definitely let me know down there below in the comments. Also, let me know if you came close to guessing the amount of time. I would be interested to see what you all thought, if you thought it would take me longer or less time. Just curious. So again, thank you so very, very, very much for coming along. We'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.